Hello everyone, warm welcome to Testbook Super Coaching Regulatory Bodies YouTube channel. My name is Madhav. I welcome you all in a very important session where we are going to discuss the important questions based on finance related to your RBI Grade B Phase 2 examination. If you are preparing for this exam, this session is a must attend session for you where we will be discussing on regular basis important questions which can be asked in your finance management as well as ESI section. So today it's Monday, it's finance session. On Tuesday again, you have a finance session, but later on Wednesday, Thursday, you will be getting ESI, and then Friday, Saturday, you will be getting the management part. So let's begin the discussion, guys, without any further delay. May I have a reply in the comment section? I'm audible, visible, everything is fine, we are good to go, so that we can begin the discussion without any further delay. Could you please reply in the comment section that I'm audible, visible, everything is fine, are we good to go, so that we can begin the discussion without any further delay. Remember that, guys, whenever we prepare for RBI examination, not only in case of finance, even in case of ESI, current affairs is going to play obviously a very important role, and majority questions in the MCQ form will be asked from the current affairs only. So obviously you need to cover your current affairs very well for finance as well as economics and social issues. Along with that, you need to cover the conceptual part as well, because you never know, the questions can be asked from the conceptual part as well. Got it, guys? Shall we begin? Just give me yes sir in the comment section, then we'll start the discussion with the first question. The first question is going to be very interesting, and I'm expecting that you are going to answer this question, but read the question twice before you mark the answer. Question is now on your screen. Which of the following taxes would be charged on intrastate supply of goods and services in GST regime? Give me the answer. It's all yours. So in case of GST, there is a term that is intrastate supply of goods and services. Then what kind of tax is going to be charged? What will be your answer? See, whenever we talk about GST, we need to understand this point very carefully, that in case of GST, if a product is being manufactured in some other state and then it is sold out in some other state, and there is an interstate flow of goods and services, then different GST is charged. And in case of the format where we have intrastate, in case of intrastate we have central GST as well as state GST. But in case of interstate, what we have? Sir, in case of interstate, we have IGST. Now you tell me, what the term I stands for? I stands for integrated GST. Yes or no? I stands for integrated GST. What will be your answer? I stands for integrated GST. What will be your answer? May I have a reply in the comment section, please? See, I stands for integrated GST. Basically, it's a type of indirect tax which is charged when interstate supply of goods and services is done. In this particular case, sir, IGST is going to be collected by whom? Sir, IGST is going to be collected by the central government. In case of interstate supply of goods. But in our question, what they have asked intrastate, which means the goods are manufactured in the same state in which it is being sold, in which it is being consumed. In that particular case, there is no role of IGST. In that case, we will be witnessing two GSTs. One is CGST and the other one is SGST. Is it clear? Is it clear, guys? Is it clear till this point? This is really very important, because GST, I'll not say it's a new topic, but in the past we have witnessed that a number of questions are generally asked from GST on regular basis. Moving on to the next part. I have already given the answer for the next. So in this case, they are asking me inter GST. So in case of inter GST, your answer interstate GST will be your IGST. Moving to the next question. The next question is very important. Try to understand this question very carefully. Which of the following best brings out the need for making a constitutional amendment for introduction of GST? We know that GST is basically implemented with the amendment which has been done in the Constitution, which was 122nd Constitution Amendment Bill and 101st Constitution Amendment. In related to that particular amendment, which is a major, or which of the following best brings out the need for making a constitutional amendment for the introduction of GST? First, to provide concurrent powers on Parliament and state legislatures to make laws governing goods and services. Okay. To provide extra incentives to manufacturing states to participate in GST. To provide for an elaborate mechanism to counter profiteering under GST. The question is, why constitutional amendment was done in order to implement GST? For that, we have certain reasons which are given on the screen, but out of the reasons given, which is a best reason because of which GST related constitutional amendment was done? Do you think the constitutional amendment was done to provide extra incentives to the states? No, sir, that is not a case. Do you think that it was to provide an elaborate mechanism to counter profiteering under GST? No, sir, it is basically to provide powers not only to center but to state government as well, because in case of GST we have CGST and SGST where the involvement of both the government is there, and that is the reason constitutional amendment was required in order to distribute the powers between center as well as state. Got it? Clear? Moving on to the next question. The next question is, which of the following financial system consists of depositories, custodians, factoring, forfeiting, leasing, underwriting, etc.? So they are included in financial market, they are included under financial instruments, they are included under financial services, or none of the above. It's a good question. It's a pretty good question. It looks pretty easy, that yes sir, it's an easy question, and many of you may feel in the first reading that it is not an appropriate question, or it is I would say not a good question, but the moment I'll explain it, it will be much clear to you. May I have an answer, please? May I have an answer, please? What will be the answer to this particular question? No? Chalo, I'll give you the answer. So the answer to this particular question is, which component of Indian financial system consists of depositories, consists of custodians, consists of factoring, forfeiting, leasing, underwriting? See, factor is an organization which provides you with a service of factoring. Forfeiting is a service. Forfeit is provided by an organization. Leasing is a service. Are you getting my point? Underwriting is a service. So they all are the part of financial services. So for factoring, forfeiting, leasing, underwriting, what are these? If I talk about factoring basically means there is an individual A, and if this individual has sold out the products to, let's say, company B, against the products, company B has not paid the amount, rather given an invoice, and on that invoice it is written that I will be paying your amount after 2 months, and that too with interest. Now A is in need of funds. A cannot hold that debt on itself. So in that particular case, A can discount this bill to the third party, and the third party which is discounting the bill and will be responsible to receive the funds in the near future is factoring. So factoring, in very simple terms, is an organization. Factor is an organization which provide factoring services, and factoring services basically means when your bills are discounted or an organization which provides you with a service of invoice discounting and helps you to liquidate your debts, help you to liquidate your credits. That is basically known as factoring. Got it, guys? Clear? Okay. Moving on to the next point. Now the next point is, the next question I would say, which of the following facilities are enjoyed by scheduled banks? We know we have two types of banks. One is schedule and the other one is non-schedule. Out of these two services, which services are enjoyed by scheduled bank? If a bank is a scheduled bank, that means the bank is included under the second schedule of RBI Act 1934. And if the bank is included under the second schedule of RBI Act 1934, then in that particular case, those banks, they become eligible to borrow the funds from RBI as well as to deposit their excess funds with RBI. That is allowed. Secondly, scheduled banks, they have a power to issue checks because they are automatically the part of clearing houses. They are the part of payment and settlement system, and they can issue the payment services, settlement services, check services. So both of these services are provided to a scheduled bank, unlike non-scheduled bank, which means if you are talking about a non-scheduled bank, the non-scheduled banks are not going to enjoy these two benefits. They are not going to enjoy these two benefits, but in the case of scheduled bank, these two benefits are provided. Got it? Clear? Moving to the next. The next point is, Imperial Bank of India was formed in 1921 by the amalgamation of three presidency banks, and these three presidency banks were Bank of Madras, Bank of Bombay, Bank of Bengal, or Bank of Surat. So out of these four, which all three banks, they were merged? Whenever we have more than two organizations which are going to be merged, then we use a term of amalgamation. Otherwise, we can use a word of merger. So in this case, which all banks, they were amalgamated to frame India's largest bank, that is Imperial Bank of India. So Bank of Madras, then we have Bank of Bombay, we have Bank of Bengal. These three banks, they were merged into one in 1921 to form Imperial Bank of India. There was no bank named Bank of Surat, or there was no bank involved named Bank of Surat in amalgamation. Later on in 1955, Imperial Bank of India was overtaken, or the majority shares of Imperial Bank of India were overtaken by Government of India, and it was renamed as State Bank of India. It was renamed as State Bank of India. But if someone asks you, Imperial Bank of India was result of how many banks, then the answer is it was the result of amalgamation of three banks excluding Bank of Surat. Rest three are correct. Next, a dash is an instrument in writing, not being a banknote or a currency note, containing unconditional undertaking signed by the maker to pay certain sum of money only to or to the order of a certain person or to the bearer of the instrument. What will be your answer? So whenever we have an instrument in writing which says, which gives an unconditional promise, unconditional undertaking by the maker. Maker means who is making that instrument, that I will be paying the amount to the payee or to the one my payee will ask me to pay. So that type of instruments are termed as what? See, in case of bill of exchange and check, as we all know, three parties are involved. Three parties are involved. The first one we call it as drawer, or we call it as maker. First one we call it as drawer, or we call it as maker, and second one is the payee who is going to receive the funds. But if drawer asks third party to pay the fund on his behalf or her behalf, then it becomes drawee. So in case of bill of exchange, in case of check, we have drawee involved. But as per the question, an instrument in writing, unconditional undertaking signed by maker to pay the sum. So who is the creator? So maker is the creator, and maker has that authority, or maker is responsible to pay the funds in near future. So that is termed as what? So it is termed as promissory note, which are defined undoubtedly under Negotiable Instrument Act 1881. If you want to understand Negotiable Instrument Act 1881 in a better manner, then you can for sure join with me today at 8 p.m. on our YouTube channel itself, where I will be discussing the Negotiable Instrument Act in much detail. Moving on to the next question, A is going to be the correct answer. Next question says, which of the following facilities is or are provided by RRBs? Providing banking facilities to rural and semi-urban areas, carrying out government operations like disbursement of wages of Manrega workers, distribution of pensions, providing para-banking facilities like locker facility, debit card, credit card facility, or all of the above. Give me the answer. Give me the answer. First is, do regional rural banks, they provide locker facility? If yes, do they provide debit card? Yes or no? Or do they provide credit cards? Yes or no? Okay, then my answer to this particular question is, sir, RRBs, they provide banking facilities to rural and semi-urban areas. That is true. Carrying out government operations like disbursement of wages of Manrega and many more, pension and all, that is also true. It provides para-banking facility, and don't get confused. RRB is a bank, and banks, they can issue credit cards. So RRBs, they can also issue the credit card. So answer is going to be all of the above. Is it clear, everyone? Got it? Chalo. Moving on to the next question. What does the next question say? Which of the following is incorrect regarding cash reserve ratio? It is defined under RBI Act 1934. There is minimum or maximum limit for CRR. Okay. RBI pays interest on the balance held for cash reserve ratio. Give me the answer. Cash reserve ratio is defined under RBI Act 1934. So that is true. On the other side, statutory liquidity ratio is defined under Banking Regulation Act 1949. If I talk about the minimum and maximum limits, yes sir, it is defined. It can be 0 to 100%, and in case of SLR, it can be 0 to 40%. It can be 0 to 40%. RBI pays interest on the balance held. In case of CRR, no sir, RBI do not pay any return, any interest on your cash reserve ratio. So out of all these, which statement is incorrect? C option is incorrect. That will be your answer. Remember, you might ignore these kind of questions, but yes, these kind of questions also possess the capacity, capability, and probability that they can be asked in your upcoming examination. So remember SLR, which stands for Statutory Liquidity Ratio. It is defined under Banking Regulation Act 1949. And if I talk about the limit, 40% is the limit for SLR. 40% is the maximum limit for SLR, and for CRR, the maximum limit is 100%. And even RBI can charge penalty. RBI can charge penalty on the banks which do not maintain the SLR, and the penalty is bank rate. Penalty is bank rate plus 3% over the bank rate. Bank rate plus 3% over the bank rate of what? Sort of the defaulting amount. And it can increase to 5% depending upon the number of days for which you have not maintained, or bank has not maintained, the SLR. In case of SLR, bank can maintain the SLR either in the form of cash, gold, or government securities. That is the reason we call it as statutory liquidity ratio. So statutory liquidity ratio basically means the ratio which is capable, or the ratio which is maintained by the bank, the ratio which is maintained by the bank in order to safeguard the public deposit in a manner If the bank has been declared as bank run, that amount can be recovered through SLR as well as cash reserve ratio. Moving on to the next question. The dash accounts are generally held by a foreign bank in our country. What will be your answer? It's a good question. It's a good question. So we have Nostro, Vostro and Loro. What will be your answer? Let's take an example. So there is a bank named X Bank and it's operating in US. Okay. And on the other side, we have a bank, let's say SBI Bank, which is operating in India. Now, if X Bank opens up an account in SBI Bank, my reference is India. What is my reference? My reference is India. So that means if a foreign bank open up an account in our bank, open up an account in our bank in our currency, what will be the answer? What will be the answer? So will it be Nostro, Vostro? What will be your answer? So the answer is this will be termed as Vostro. So generally held by a foreign bank. So if a foreign bank is opening up an account in Indian bank and that too in Indian rupees, that means your account with us is known as Vostro. On the other side, if SBI opens up an account in X bank, that means our bank, whose bank, sir? Our bank, account in foreign bank, and that too in foreign currency. And that too in what? So that too in foreign currency. That type of account is termed as Nostro accounts. On the other side, if I change the observer is Y bank. The observer is Y bank. The observer is Y bank in Pakistan. So Y bank in Pakistan will say their account with them. So that type of account is known as Loro account. So their account with them is Loro. Your account with us is Vostro. Our account with you is Nostro. Is it clear? Is it clear? I'll give you one more question on the same where you will be, I would say, applying the same content which I have just discussed with you. And I'm pretty sure that then you will be in a position to answer this question for sure. Moving to next question. Which of the following is incorrect with respect to NRE, that is non-resident external rupee account? So all those individuals who are not the resident of India, but if they are opening up an account in India and that too in Indian rupees, that is known as non-resident rupee account. And these kind of accounts can be opened only by NRIs, that is non-resident Indians. And these types of accounts are not included or they are exempted from the tax. So let's see which of the following is incorrect. Interest, income and balances held are exempted from income tax. That is true. Loans up to 100 lakh, that means 1 crore can be extended against security of funds held in NRE account. That is true. Account will be maintained in Indian rupees. That is also true. So according to me, none of the option is incorrect. So answer should be D option. That is absolutely correct. Next question. Which of the following is incorrect with respect to the minor account? No, sir, it's not minor. It's mirror account. Please read this carefully. It is mirror account. So what are mirror accounts? If you don't know, then you will getting an answer today. Sir, mirror account is basically a shadow account, or I would say this is more or less a reflection or a shadow of Nostro account, which basically means there is no actual account as such, And if there is no actual account as such, but we use to represent this particular account, then we call it as mirror account. So mirror account is basically referred to as a fictitious account or fictitious account practices. So a fictitious account basically means it is completely fictional account and it has no connection to a real person. And mirror account, it is also known as shadow accounting, or it is also known as parallel accounting. This is when a company keeps two set of accounting records. One set is prepared according to the generally accepted accounting principle of the country where company operates. So that type of account, which basically a separate account used to reconcile difference between company's cash account and its bank statement, that type of fictitious account is known as mirror account. So mirror account is reflection. The entries in the mirror account are used for reconciliation of entries in the nostro account. That is true. The mirror account is maintained only in the home currency. Say yes or no. Mirror account is maintained in the home currency only? No sir, it can be maintained in the foreign currency as well. It is basically to check bank statements as well as the cash flow statements. As I said, I have a question for you which will help you to implement the concepts which you have just studied. Nostro account, vostro account, loro account. Tell me the answer. I have explained this. Now expecting the answers from you all. What will be the answer? Nostro accounts means your account with us. Nostro account means your account with us. Vostro account means our account with you. And loro account means their account with them. Do you remember as the way I have took an example few minutes back where I said there is a bank in US and the clients of this X bank, they want to operate or they want to make transactions in India with an Indian client. So what will happen? So this X bank, he will open up an account in SBI in Indian rupees. Now you need to fix your reference. You are from India, your reference will be India. You are from India, your reference will be India. What you will say? Your account with us in Indian rupees. Your account with us in Indian rupees. That type of account. Y, V, they shape almost same. Y and V, they have almost same shape when we write down. So if they have the same shape, then remember V for Y, which says your account with us. Your account with us means a foreign bank is holding an account in domestic bank, in domestic currency. That is known as vostro account. On the other side, our account, that means SBI is opening up an account in X bank in US dollars. That will be termed as our account with you. That will be termed as our account with you. That will be termed as our account with you. So if we talk about our account with you, our account with you, what does it means? Our account with you, what does it means? That will be termed as nostro. NO, our account with you. So NO from N, remember O, that is our account with you. So accordingly, what will be the answer? So first goes with C. N means nostro, NO. Nostro, for this O, remember our account with you. For this vostro, remember VY, your account with us. And loro means their account with them. So according to this, what should be the answer? First goes with third, second goes with A, third goes with B. They have given 4, that means there is some wrong. So I'll give this B and I'll strike it out. So this is the answer. Got it guys? Clear? Done? Okay. So these were few of the important questions related to your phase 2 finance examination. If you want to cover the finance topics in much detail, today at 9 p.m. I will be live. Today at 10 p.m. I will be live on Testbook application in a masterclass course where we call it as free crash course for RBI Grade B Phase 2 examination. Do join that course in order to learn more about the finance segment. If you want to enroll yourself for the upcoming 2025 batch, do use the code MADHAV in order to enjoy maximum discount for the Lakshya batch. So that will be all from my side guys. We'll catch you in the next session. Till then, keep learning, try your level best to learn new concepts which are going to help you a lot in your upcoming exams to go. Thank you so much. Good luck. God bless you all. Bye-bye.